Computer. Boom. This is a theme. I feel like kind of looking back, something that Chris and I have been talking about consistently over the past couple of months now. Routine, model. So I guess the biggest question I have is, are you doing the things you don't want or want your kid to do? So that includes idle time, relaxing, and this is both negative, right? If you want your child to be practicing, exploring their creativity and doing those things, are you also passionate and curious and exploring those different things as well, so they can kind of look to you as a role model? Or are you reading passionately on your free time and your kids are watching you do that? How do you use your devices? Where are you using them? And so I just kind of want to leave this thought lingering, because I'm not trying to point the finger, because I do this as well. I sometimes go home and the first thing I do is I get on the couch and look at my phone, and then my daughter will come, and she's 16 months, she doesn't understand anything, and she'll just kind of try to like engage with me, and I wonder, maybe I shouldn't do what I'm doing, because that's what she sees, and as she gets older, that's probably going to be a response that I'm reinforcing. Indulge in boredom with your kids. You may need to teach them how to have fun without devices. If you feel like device is something that they've grown very familiar with over the past couple of months. I have a great story for this, and it's actually a very personal one. When I was in high school, I got caught playing World of Warcraft at 4 a.m. by my foster mom. And she came in the next day, and she took the computer and she kind of just moved it to the school. And so the next couple of days I didn't have a computer, and it was actually very agonizing. And I just remember my dad kind of coming in and saying, you know what, I want to indulge in the boredom with you. And that kind of really stuck out with me. And we started exploring different things, like different foods around the neighborhood. We went rock climbing, we went biking. And I kind of reflect on that now, and I realized I really just needed someone to teach me the different things I could do without my computer. So indulge in the boredom with your kids, show them what you can do without a device, and explore Hanoi. If you're new here, there's so much to do, and while working with the different regulations and restrictions involved. Finally, staying active, walking, sports, swimming, hikes, all of these different things are something that you can start incorporating right away. I bring up device use because I just feel like kids have been so plugged into the devices. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of device. In 2019, the World Health Organization, they kind of published some guidelines, and that's the picture that I have there, and you can kind of look at it at your leisure. And if you feel like device use is something that you want to kind of reset, that you kind of want to put a schedule on for your children, definitely it's something that you can start incorporating, having a calendar out, a weekly schedule, and placing those different times so that your kids know exactly when they can get on devices. Having other types of productive downtime besides using a device. I think I was reading this, and they said, it might be an easy way out for parents to also have downtime by giving a device to a child, but it's not productive downtime. And I think about my own daughter. She'll just sit there while watching a really cute YouTube singing series, and it's a moment of relaxation for me, but it's not really a productive downtime that I could be doing and spending a little bit more time with her. And finally, getting involved and making it your thing. And what I mean by that is your kids, they're watching influencers, they're watching YouTubers, they're following different types of people. And I talk to a lot of students, and they're telling me how they're watching this makeup artist, or they're watching this gamer play games, or they're watching this person just eat a mountain of food that's ridiculous. And they really like talking about what the content they are watching. And so make it your thing with your kids. Become a little bit more involved, and try watching these things with them to see what they're doing, and then make it your thing. And it can be a time for you to bond together, and maybe that will get them more involved to be like, you know what, I want to watch this with mom, so I'll watch it later when we can. And so getting involved can also be a process of shifting that mindset of something that they're doing on their own. I really had fun making this slide. I was laughing a little bit because kids are really strong advocates. They have a really good sense of justice, and they are master negotiators when it comes to certain things. And so I think about situations like, but like let's say Jimmy has an older brother, but John gets to stay up late at night. Oh, but you do this, but you said that I could. And so they're constantly advocating. They can constantly, even if they're not saying it, I'm sure they're thinking it. And so, well, I did the dishes. Well, I read my book, so now I get to do this. So it's trying to avoid that whole mindset of, or giving them that space to say, well, that's not fair. And so if you feel like this is the kind of struggle you're getting with your children, the easiest way actually is to communicate very transparently what's going on. Well, you know what? Johnny is a high school student and he needs much less sleep than you. And letting them know, like, as you start getting older, your bedtime will also probably increase so that you can stay up later. And just having that communication. If you're using devices at places and your child is constantly saying, well, you use the device. Well, during the moments that you can say, well, mom is reading a very important message from a friend. And after this, I'm going to come and spend time with you. Oh, or look, grandpa's calling. I have to make this phone call. I'm going to step outside and I'll be back in 10 minutes to be with you. Just so kind of letting them know and communicating so that it doesn't give them the room to be like, well, that's not fair. And they're already in the yellow zone. So when they're in that calm green zone, communicating and bridging that information to them. So here are the definite do's that you can be doing. Schedule. So maintaining a reasonable bedtime. And I say that not like they have to go to, but I say reasonable because it is still winter break, but getting those 8 to 10 hours still in. Having a bedtime routine. So they're not like on YouTube 5 minutes before they go to bed, but there's a specific routine of how they're going to bed, the different types of chores or tasks that they might be doing. So having that in a schedule that you've created for this winter break. Breakfast is a big thing. I feel like I think about my childhood. I don't think I ever got breakfast during the breaks because I wanted to sleep in, I would miss out. But breakfast is also a great routine setup in general because it kind of landmarks, oh, this is the start of the day. So not forgetting breakfast, making sure they're getting the nutrients for that throughout the day. And then remembering to give them different types of roles, especially maybe like things that involve a little bit of leadership, taking care of pets, grocery shopping, babysitting their little brother or sister, and just getting them involved in different things. That's really, really just good for them to remember, like, hey, I have stuff to do. I can be more involved instead of just being idle the whole time. I just wanted to hear, like, are there things that you're already doing with your kids that you feel like, you know what, I can continue to do this throughout the break? If you do, like, why don't you just pop it in the chat? Maybe some of you have great ideas that others can learn or can be like, hey, I do that too. Thanks, Chris. Bedtime routine is key, even on vacation. Yeah, I think even for Eliana, who's only 16 months old, bedtime routine has not changed. It's exactly the same as when she was 11 months old, and it just helps her stay consistent. And prepare early. So the things that I've just shared, all of these different things, you can continue to, or you can just start them now at the start of the break. And it won't, and what it'll do is it'll segue really smoothly into the start of the school year, whether it's, having breakfast, the night routines, the different schedules, the different chores. And so, and that's a way for starting a habit without going in guns blazing and trying to change everything at once, but changing some of the things that or processes very slightly so that it caters towards what transition and scheduling might look like in your second for the second semester, and prepare early. Start having discussions about returning to school. And you might be like, well, how do I do that? And here are some tips. So instead of being like, hey, you got to get prepared, you got to pack your bags, maybe like a couple of days, you can start having discussions like, hey, let's go shopping for supplies. Let's get a list going. Like, what did you need last semester? So instead of kind of forcing it, but getting them involved into that thought. A study space. Hey, you know what? You studied in the kitchen or you studied in this bedroom. Like, do we want to shift things around? Was the light good? Oh, did you want to change some of the things around? And just having that discussion with them and getting them involved in that process. So they're like, oh yeah, you know what? School's about to start. Getting a calendar together instead of being like, hey, well, these are your classes. Just sitting down and being like, hey, you know what? This is a calendar. Let's mark our schedules. Let's plan for the next 2 weeks. Like, what's going on? Like, do you know what's happening? And just getting them curious, having that discussion with them. And it just really helps them to realize, like, oh, yes, school is about to start, instead of being like, oh, no, school's going to start tomorrow. What's going to happen? And they're still sleeping late. They're waking up. They don't have breakfast. So that just making sure that transition is, and preparing them so that that transition is smooth. I put this resource in here because Chris shared it with me before, and I'm sure she got it somewhere else, or she made it, which is amazing. No, she didn't make it, but I've also linked this into the resource because I kind of looked at it, and there's a lot of good content here, and that touches up on a lot of important questions or worries or different things that kids might be asking about friends, anxieties about starting school. So I've put that in there so that you can start opening, reading these different books and having discussions with your children if they come up. Stories are just very powerful because they're relatable to a certain degree. So as you start approaching the break, and if you do have any types of difficult questions that your children ask, maybe just kind of looking through the SEL library, seeing if there's something that might be applicable and learning with your kids. So this is my Kaplan and Hobbes for today. Nothing complicated, nothing long. That's just how a lot of kids just look during distant learning, even during guidance, even during very fun lessons that they've enjoyed, whether it was math, whether it was reading. I think a lot of kids are zoomed out, burnt out. And I know parents, you are also very much burnt out trying to make sure that your kids are on Zoom or just trying to keep up with the fluctuating regulations and such. So it's a very much deserved break for everyone. Here are the resources. Your homework is to enjoy your holiday and to connect with your kids. I think that's the most important thing. And so that's something that you are required to do. Everything's been optional so far, but this one is not. And here are some resources for you. The SEL library that I just talked about. Parental control on devices is just a YouTube video that kind of takes device setup for parental control to a next level. There's like an actual little box that controls everything. And so if that's you, I've actually put a link. There's a ton of technology, cool stuff like this to get you thinking about it. And then strategies for a successful summer break. I know it's winter break, but the content is great. And then traveling with challenging children, just articles for you to read through if this applies to you and you want to learn more. Thank you very much. That was it.